Alright, hello. I'll probably do this in chipmunk mode again, just to get through it quickly. This is like part 2 to this 93 equals 418, okay? Now, let me zoom in on this real quick again. This is kind of a follow-on from that video that I just posted, and this is obviously brought about by Zenith the Alpha looking at this part of the Book of the Law by Aleister Crowley, right? Now, he was looking at this 93 equaling 148, okay? And I'd said before, like, this is interesting that the 1 in the middle of here could be just a letter I, okay? And if we just call that a letter I, and we're just looking at the numbers here, without changing this to a 9 or a 1, the numbers here are simply just 4 and 8, and an angle here as well, okay? Going off at this angle, because I want to talk about this angle again here as another reference point. And then we have 93 over here, just, you know, there's no mix and match here. This is just Roman numerals, 93, okay? But we've got mix and match stuff going on here with the I being maybe a 1 or a 9, or maybe omitting it completely and just having the number 4 and the number 8 here. Anyway, let me show you something. This is well interesting. I'm going back to the Queen's Cross, okay? This is the reason why I call it the Queen's Cross is because it's got this reference to the Queen's death here at the top and at the bottom of this chart in this cross formation here. And what's at the centre of this thing is 44, and we've got an upcoming date of reference with the 48 and a number that I've been looking at for the Hoover Dam, which is 49. Now, let me explain something here. What I have done in this chart is, because when I started doing these numbers, right, I've been using Fibonacci and Lucas, and then I generated some more Fibonacci type sequences, and the next number on in those number line sequences is starting with the number 3, adding 1, which then goes to 4, and then 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 plus 4 is 9, so forth and so on, okay? And this row I'd called the pi row because it starts with 3, 1, 4, the same numbers as pi. When you take, what's fascinating is, firstly, this is the centre balancing point of this whole table here, to do with the Queen's Cross, to do with the matrix, okay? Because of we've got that reference with the Queen's death here at the top and the bottom of this thing. So this is fascinating already, okay? That we have this date coming up for the eclipse, and also, because that's what the matrix is, the eclipse, and also this date, which is encoded in the dollar bill, okay? And also the dam is encoded in the dollar bill as well, okay? The reference to the dam breaking. You have to go back and check out my dollar bill decodes for all that stuff. Anyway, what I did is, because this center line is essentially starts with the numbers of pi, I started looking at putting pi next to this table, and so I took the first 24 numbers of pi, okay, because all these cycles are 24 digits long, and I just stuck it at the bottom of here, and what I noticed was that at the centre of those 24 digits matched up with the centre of the table here, okay? So that was really fascinating. What I also noticed is that if you start pi from the centre of the table now, actual numbers of pi, which is in green here as well, what you'll find is that this 84 that's in here actually matches up with the last, matches up with the 84 that is in the Fibonacci sequence here that starts on 911, okay? So we have this match up with 84. So these 84 and 84 match up. Now, obviously, there's some references with that to, obviously, it references back to the 26 here, which again becomes fascinating because of the 8426 references with Marilyn Monroe, and also with Madonna. Basically, I mean, there's just a ton of stuff where she's imitating or emulating Marilyn Monroe, okay? So this is fascinating, right? Especially for a date for Madonna to croak on with the 84, okay? What's also fascinating is actually today's date, which is at the centre of this thing. I'm going to get to the point in a second, but today's date is at the centre of this thing as the reset point for pi starting over again, okay? Because this is where, you know, this is the death of the Queen here. What we have is this 4-3 is matching up with that, okay? In the adjusted pi row here. So you can see 4-3 now looks very sort of, because, you know, Madonna has very similar sort of things going on as the Queen. We now have this date here that looks very, very interesting for Madonna to potentially croak on. Like a lot of these dates that are upcoming now for the next few days. Again, now I want to explain something that's interesting about, let's get rid of all this rubbish off of here a second. Let me just explain something that's interesting now about this. Now note the 4, and then this I, and then the number 8 going off at this angle, right? Let's go back to that same location right here at the start of pi again. And let's look what we've got going off in this direction here. Now if we change that I, so we have the 4, then we have the I, and then we can just go over the top of this number 8 that's here, yeah? And there's the number 4. So we have that 4, the 418 going this way when we change that number 9 that's in here to the I. and we're going off in the same angle here, yeah? You see that? You see this? We've got this angle encoded here with the 4 being lower, the 8 being higher, and the I being in the middle. 498, right there. So, pretty interesting already right there, that that's right at this sort of start point, and it's intersecting with this Fibonacci sequence that starts with 911 and the adjusted row for pi here, okay? And what's actually fascinating as well is that this starts here, and, you know, this is a restart here. You know, this is a switchover point right here, yeah? Because we have the death of the Queen here and 911 here. And of course, those two things are interrelated with days of the year. So this is really, I mean, this is actually pretty mental, because if we now look at just these numbers here, what you'll see is that we have on one side, we've got 8-4, the eclipse date, and then on the other side, we have 93, mirroring one another. Okay, and like I said, we could just not put that I in with the 4 and the 8 like this. If we just say, well, that's an I, and it's not really a number, you know, in this context, that doesn't exist in there. So you just remove that from the equation. 48 and equals, so 93 equals 48. Right here. I don't know. That I thought was super duper interesting. I don't know what else to say about it. I just wanted to point that out. Alright, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.